The dispute in the South China Sea has been an ongoing situation since 100 BCE, with since then a lot has changed in the geopolitical situation with China, Vietnam and Taiwan and many other countries that have a invested interest in this dispute. Now, on the 3rd of July, news has come out that the USS Stethem destroyer has sailed near the disputed islands in the South China Sea, and they passed less than 12 nautical miles, 22 kilometers, or 13.6702 miles from the tiny island of Titarion in the Parcel Islands archipelago, which is occupied by China, but is also claimed by other countries in the region. Now, China has sent military vessels and warplanes to warn off the American warship, and obviously this could strain relationships between the superpowers, both superpowers. Foreign Chinese Foreign Minister spokesperson La Kang has said in a statement from the People's Daily China, under the pretext of freedom of navigation, the U.S. side has once again sent a military vessel into Chinese territorial waters off the Xaxia Islands without China's approval. The U.S.'s behavior has violated the Chinese law and relevant international laws, infringed upon China's sovereignty, disputed peace, security, and order of the relevant waters, and put in jeopardy the facilities and personnel on the Chinese islands, and thus constitutes a serious political and military provocation. The Chinese side is dissatisfied with and opposed to the relevant behavior of the US side, and working together, China and ASEAN member states have cooled down and improved the situation in China's South Sea. The US, who deliberately stirs up trouble in the South China Sea, is running in the opposite direction from countries in the region who aspire for stability, cooperation, and development. The China side strongly urges the US to immediately stop such kind of provocation operations that violate China's sovereignty and threatens China's security. The Chinese side will continue to take all necessary means to defend national sovereignty and security. So this comes as President Trump and President Xi Jinping were scheduled to have a phone call meeting, pretty much. And now moving on from that side of the story onto the other side of the story, which is that the U.S. Pacific Command Admiral Harry Harrison, but whatever, presented a speech in Melbourne basically rejecting that China's claim on the sovereignty of the islands. As he says that they are fake islands that should not be believed by real people. He argues that China has used the creation of fortified man-made islands to let them establish a claim on the islands themselves in the South Sea. And so this is somewhat true, but it's in 2014 China had built a lot more artificial islands on the Mischief Reef, and then in 2016 they also built a lighthouse to look out for ships on the Subby Reef, and then they militarized a lot. They've been militarized the Mischief Reef Islands that they've built with 2 new radar/comm facilities, a missile shelter, and they also are building a massive, large radar area on a different island that will be able to communicate between Beijing and these islands region. Opinion time. Now, as I was writing this, the information part, which is up above, which is the news part, I was going off news.com, which is owned by News Corp, and the article will be in the link in the description. But they didn't take the full quote that I read from La Kang. So I had to go to People's Daily China, which is the Chinese, basically a newspaper or web news site run by China, a news corporation in China, and yeah, so you could sort of take this a lot of bias from both political sides. The situation might just increase the tensions in the region, but the main issue or the main fuck up with this situation in general, the South China Sea dispute, is that there's a lot of money that trade routes and gas and oil really put this situation into a lot more of perspective, because that's what they're disputing, as well as land and all this stuff. But the main issues in dispute are the 9-dash line, the Mediterranean boundaries along the Vietnamese coast between China, Taiwan, and Vietnam, the islands, reefs, banks, shores in the South China Sea. So basically the Pastel Islands, Partes Islands, the Macclesfield Fields Bank, the Scarborough Shoal, and the Spratly Islands. And lastly, the maritime boundaries and islands in the Luzon Strait between China, the Philippines, and Taiwan. But if the US just continues to do these sort of things where they go straight through near territory, we're going to have an international incident waiting just to occur. And yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching this. Trying to cover one story. Maybe if people like this, I'll cover more. But yeah, subscribe and all that stuff. It's gonna pop up in a minute, so all the links and stuff are in the description for the sources if you want to look at them. There's a Deep Daily Telegraph. It's an Australian. I think it's an Australian based article. Yeah, it's an Australian newspaper article website. They did a special feature or in-depth look into the situation. So I've included that link as well. And because there's analysts saying that there's going to be a war that's going to happen in this because of this international, not because of it, of what I just covered, but because of the whole fucked up situation that's happening there. And then there's a lot more other stuff in that description. Also go Facebook, and yeah, okay. Anyway, thanks for watching and goodbye.